right, time for another one. This is for the Churrasco Brazilian Steakhouse frames. Finally, getting to it. Get this out of the way. So these are going to be the panels. For those of you playing along at home, haven't seen it yet, or at the shop, haven't seen the new latest version. So we're going to have 7 of these panels going across, and then we're going to have one wrap around the corner, which is the same size there. And then at night, it's going to have a track light that's going to do a wall wash down from the top, and we're going to put the same track all the way along the bottom, and it's going to wash up. So, and then these are going to be the channel lighters we already made. Those light up through the face. So theoretically, it should look like this. So keep that in mind though for fab and install, but we're going to have the lights top and bottom, and they turn the corner and go that way. So when I point out what you got to do to the frames, that'll make sense. So let's get after it. So lay of the land real quick for the parts. So we have the AB frames A and B that make the corner unit. So I kind of got those all as their own parts there. And then the rest of them, you have basically 1 through 5 plus the end. So that's all those parts there, tops and bottoms. Got the jiggies for the corners. You got faces and backs. And then we also have these little 6 units here, keeping out for those little guys, get those bent up, and I'll show you how those work. So as far as like level of effort, it's not too bad. These aren't the hardest things we've ever made. Just got to make sure we make them properly. They're going to be a little noodly. They are almost 8 feet tall and they're 5 feet wide. So, you know, laying them out on your table and stuff is going to be a little fun, but it should be okay. You're just going to be doing gang of face jigs. So you can see where the face jigs are going to be skinnier because the frames only have a 1-inch front face and they have a 2-inch back. Because each of the 1/8-inch panels that are being water jetted only have a 1-inch border on the side for the verts, and they have almost 3 inches or whatever here. So that's all good. So we don't have to worry about that. And so the way it's broken up is the end cap here basically is generic, and so is the AB corner are generic faces. There's nothing fancy about them. But because you can see where Brazilian Steakhouse starts to encroach on 1 through 5, that means that those have become asymmetrical, both because of where the already laid out letter holes go caused issues with the frame, but because where the letters landed, it forced some of the mounting holes on some of the frames to get moved. So you can see where like these 2 mounting holes here got pushed up because the C was right there. Otherwise they wanted to be right here. So that means that 3 and 2 are asymmetrical. They're not the same. They're not typical. So just keep that in mind, is that really all you got to do is just start with, you know, get your parts together. Again, your face frames and stuff are typical, but you got your face and you got your back. But just get your, you know, left, right, top, and bottom, and then just work your way through. The one thing I want to suggest, much like the corners here, what's up, girl power, is you want to make sure that everything is going to be welded up nice and strong. I know that usually what we do, like if we're doing some sort of a blade sign or something like that, monument sign, we have the benefit of having the sheer Lord's face. So I know you guys don't really get too crazy on the welding up of the corners, but I would suggest, because these are going to get compromised to allow light through, that really we are going to be relying on these jigs to kind of hold things together. Now I get it. Once it gets up on the wall should hold together. Also, once this gets attached to it, it kind of will give it shear strength. However, this will be the load pulling down on it. So it's kind of a plus and a minus there. Anyway, so you want to make sure you get these jigs welded up a little more than you usually do, just a couple tacks. No, we want to make sure, maybe throw a couple little 1 or 2 second stitches, make sure things are burned up really well. Because what you're going to do is get your corners all done, get the frame welded up, just that easy. And then while it's on your table, for 1 through 5 here, the end doesn't get one, but 1 through 5, on the left-hand side only, you pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side on this one. You're just going to do that little clip guy is going to slide through these little fang holes here, and that's going to give a little support tab for the next frame when install goes to put it together. So you'll have female receiving slots there, and you'll have your tabs sticking out there. So, you know, birds and bees, review your junior high literature. But you're going to Cleco that in. I know that I have a hole here kind of close. These holes are going to be for install. If they choose to self-tap these together in the field, these will be pilot holes, these guys here. So don't mistake that guy, got kind of close. But you're just going to Cleco that in, burn that to the edge, and that's fine. That's going to stick out. That's going to be on the left-hand side of each of these frames, and then you're going to have the receiver side on the other side. Anyway, so burn these up real good, get that in there. Go ahead and get these all taken care of. Then what you're going to do is where you see these mouse holes, because the light is going to want to pass through. So let's say this is our track, right? Right here, this is going to be our light track, or it was going to be this product. We were going back and forth with a lot of products. But in order to service it later, possibly having to lift one above the other, we want to make sure there's plenty of room. So what you're going to do is compromise these by chopping out the tops and bottoms. So you can see where that's our usual little cutout tab for you. So you're just going to cut that smooth, make sure it's nice and clean. And that's going to open it up and have a full mouse hole for the lights to pass all the way through on the bottom tray all the way along, and then on the top tray. So that'll be kind of for install to work out. And then you do have it on the corner piece here, and then it's going to turn the corner, and then it's going to die on the flush end of B over here. So B's clean, doesn't have any slots or anything, and the end over here is clean, doesn't have any slots, so we're good to go. But otherwise, that's kind of it for 1 through basically 6, let's say. So that's going to be pretty straightforward. I think you guys will get that. No big deal. On this one, it's really not any more of a big deal. It's just going to be kind of wonky, and I just want to make sure it gets put together nice and strong. So you're going to have a top tray here, and a top tray here, and a bottom tray and a bottom tray. What I would do is temporarily Cleco this together, use this jig here to temporarily hold these together. Then similar to what this jig is, this is a jig here, but it extends the whole way down. So essentially, because again, like I say, we only have a 1-inch margin here, this turns into basically a 1x1 all the way down and then connects to this jig. So this will be on the front face side. So you can see where this is the jig here, but this will be the one by running all the way down vertical. And so again, like I said, this is why you're going to want to burn these in really well, because that's all that's holding this together. You're going to have the benefit of the strength, depending on which part of the Midwest you're from. You can go here nice and strong, but this will be kind of funky and floppy. And then because this will be 09 back, right, because it's inside the frame, then we need to build it out. So it's just going to be a little decorative front piece, a nose piece, that you're going to bend up and you're going to lords it right here and then just attach it to the jig. And then that will give us where we put our 1/8-inch frame. So the holes will line up there and it's going to sit on this little strip back to here and give a good full frap. So once this gets lords on, then we're almost at a 3/16. We're at 180 thousandths. Plus we will then be screwing on 1/8-inch to help kind of beef it up. So hopefully it'll be nice and strong. On the back side, it should be the same thing except in reverse. So you're going to take this and put it on the inside of the frame here, tack it in really well, nice and strong. Again, I'd run some 1 or 2 second little beads, make sure it's nice and beefy. And then you're going to go ahead and lords in the guy from the back side. So you'll put the lords on this side and you'll bring it in, epoxy it up. And then that way that will be something that install can smash against. I have staggered the holes on the corner so that way the fasteners don't bump into each other, but install can put a fastener there and a fastener there. Hit that corner really well, and we should be good to go. So that's really it. And then once that's taken care of, you can uncleco this and then just maybe lords the crud out of it, squish it in there, and that's going to stabilize and strengthen this seam corner here. And then that way, we're good to go. And then they can run their lights around the corner and it's nice and open right there. And then that face gets attached. So that's the only real issue I wanted to bring up there with the A and B is the funkiness there. I think all these holes should line up. It's kind of funky that we're doing like the one piece and wrapping it and everything. I offset all the holes and everything. If it doesn't hit me up, we can try to adjust the fire, see what's up. But I think we should be able to hit it like that, one piece. So, so that's it for fab. Yeah, I think that's it. As far as lighting is concerned, I don't know what power vault we had for the original letters, but we also now have coming in, I think, 24-volt track lighting, and I think they're going to bring in their own power supplies, but I don't know how that's going to work. So that will bleed over into install here. I'm going to start talking install, but we need to figure out what we're going to do with all these power supplies. Don't know how many power supplies for track light. And like I said, I think we already kind of have our power vault for this. So we have to kick that together. So for install, the idea is that maybe you might be able to take this one-piece frame and put it at the corner first and start the party that way. Kind of like here. So you would put this on first, get it level, get it attached. That takes care of the wraparound that side. And this gets the party started here. And then if you so choose, then you can start to clip in, one will lock in, because again, you have the benefit of this little guy helping you self-level the next guy, and then maybe just mark your holes, or you hold it, shoot some blue screws, drill and shoot as you go. And then maybe just start laying these as you go, bam, bam, bam. And then, like I said, you can choose whether you feel, you'll see that you'll have these little holes right here as pilot holes. If you want to self-tap these together once it's on the wall, I don't know. It's up to you guys what you feel like you need to do there. So there's that option. The issue is that once these frames are up, these frames are going to be 4 inches deep. And then the face where you put the channel letters up obviously is 4 inches away. The idea is how do you translate these power holes through to the wall and back through? So either put the frames up, put the faces on, and then just use a long drill bit and just shoot through and use the metal as the pattern. Great. You don't need to worry about mounting, because mounting goes directly to the 1/8 inch. You don't have to worry about it. So that being said, I have at the standby, I have laid out a pattern. But the problem is, again, it's 400 inches long. It's pretty big. But I do have the corner. Let me switch to wireframe here. So I have the corner edge laid out here. So if you were to take this pattern and line this up on the corner, even if you don't use this for the actual laying out of panel holes, maybe you use this to get the party started and at least get the power holes. So this is directly against the stucco, and then you can shoot your power holes through and then take this off. And then you'll be well within, a 1/16 of an inch or something that you can then translate that to, when you go to put that on. Also think ahead, we've got wall penetrations. So this is a 3/8 hole. Maybe you bring in some tubing that you can shoot all the way through and have it stick out a little bit on this side, run your cable through. And then when you put the letter up, you'll have a little bit of tubing sticking through. That might be the way to go as well. That way you can seal it up for wall penetration. Because again, you're going to have all these wall penetrations, and we got to make sure it gets sealed up anyway. But that's just some considerations for install. But I'm available. Let me know what's up. And again, we also have to think about the power supplies once we get them, the count for all of the track lighting, top and bottom. So if we need to come up with a custom, box, a custom power vault, kind of similar to what we've done with the Agua Caliente, like the long ones that have all the power supplies in it, let me know. I have to get that cooked up. So anyway, but I think that should be it for this job. And thankfully it'll be off our radar finally. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Check the technique.